This is the plaintiff, Diana Kit Dixon. She says she had an electrical problem in her house. The defendant lied to her about the cause of the problem and overcharged her for work he didn't even do. The guy's a scammer. He should be locked up. And she really wants her money back and hopes the judge will help her. She's suing for $2,500, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Abdul Qadir. He says the plaintiff had an electrical overload in her house, and that's what causes fires. He visited her house, figured out the problem, bought all the supplies, and showed up 3 times to do the job. The woman never kept an appointment and then abruptly changed her mind and asked for all her money back. Sorry, lady, but he doesn't work for free. He's accused of not wiring up a lady.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant, an electrician, grossly overcharged her and took advantage of her in the worst way. But the defendant says the plaintiff had an electrical overload, which is really dangerous. It's the case of Socket to me.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Diana Kit Dixon, you are suing Superman Maintenance Incorporated and Abdul Qadir for $2,500 that you paid him for electrical work that he did not do. Tell me what's going on.
During April 2007, I had went and asked one of my coworkers, do she know Electrician? She recommended the defendant, and I called. She gave me the number, and I called, and he came over, and as he arrived, we discussed what was wrong with why my lights are being out. So he did go over, he went through the house, and I asked him, how much would that be? He said $7,000. I said, what? And he says, 5. I said, well, being my mom's was in the dark.
What lights were out?
All upstairs.
So go on.
He received $1,000 when he came over, and he met me, and I gave him another $15. After that, I called, I went over to where my moms were going to move, and I saw Mr. Baptiste, and I asked him if he can come over and give a second opinion.
Wait, you went over to where?
To where my mom, I was trying to move my mom in a new housing complex, and I went over there.
So you asked the super over there to come and visit you at your place?
Right.
Okay, and what'd he say?
He told me to go to Home Depot. He seen how stressed I was, to go to Home Depot and get the sockets and the switch. Took about an hour to 2 hours, or my lights was on.
What did that cost you?
No more than $20.
Wait, how about his time? You didn't pay him for his time?
Well, he wouldn't accept anything.
Why not?
I mean, he saw how stressed I was and he wouldn't take it. I mean,
wow.
I offered.
Give me his number. You won't believe how stressed I'll look. And what exactly did he do?
Well, he changed all the sockets on the 3rd floor, all the switch, and my lights are still on. So the next day morning, I called Mr.
Now, did you miss some appointments with him to do the work?
No.
So then you call him a few days after you've given him the money. You call him and tell him.
I says, I no longer need your services. He told me, oh, but I bought the supplies. They charge you 25%. And I said, fine, just give me $2,000. After that, I haven't heard from him. That's when I got an attorney.
And then what happened?
He didn't show up for the appointment with my lawyer.
Yeah.
I didn't see him anymore as far as me.
Okay,
I didn't exist
you decided
anymore.
to file a case against him, and you realized that you only had his first name.
That's right. The receipts.
You handed somebody $2,500,
but
you only had their first name.
So the way I found him, I saw his picture on television.
How did you see his picture?
And I said, that's the man.
Wait. How did you see his picture on television?
Well, something took place in White Plains where one of the police officers that we knew had got shot, and that's how I found his.
But how? What did he have to do with that?
Well, I guess he was supporting the victim mother.
You saw him like comforting the police officer's mother?
Right. I said, that's the man who took my $2,500.
And that was how much later?
About a year. I kept looking, and I started researching. I even did a flyer, and I gave it to my friends.
You did a flyer?
I did.
Can I see the flyer? Let me see the flyer. But when you saw him on television, like, did you call the TV station? What'd you do as a result of that?
No, I tried. I even tried to get into the with the internet.
How'd you get his picture?
I don't newspaper, and I gave it to some of my friends who are Muslims. You know, Mount Vernon, all over.
Can you help me find this man? This is a wanted poster. He goes by the name Abdullah. He claims to be a Muslim. He also claimed to be an electrician. I have not seen this man since he took my money. He never did any work. I want my money back. What's going on?
I came to the place, took an evaluation of what was going on. I saw that there was heaters being plugged in. The heaters overloaded the circuits, and my recommendation was to run a separate circuit. So the windows are in the front and the back of the house. The windows are used for air conditioning, front and back. My recommendation was to bring up 2 separate circuits, 1 for each window. The appropriate thing to do, so that a mother wouldn't have to go into the basement, was to bring a sub-panel box up to the 2nd floor. We agreed. $2,500 was given that day.
You were going to charge her $5,000?
No.
What were you going to charge her?
It was $2,500.
You weren't charging her $5,000?
No.
Why does she have a receipt from you that says that it's $5,000? Deposit $2,500, balance $2,500.
There was additional work outside of the
All right.
first.
So tell me your side. She gives you $2,500, and she, according to her, she calls you within like 48 hours and tells you about her need.
She wouldn't have to call me. I went to get material for the job, and I showed up on her first appointment date for an installation. No one's there to answer the door.
So if you got an electrician giving you an estimate of $2,500, did you get a second opinion?
Absolutely.
What if you really knew this electrician and you trusted him? Would you get a second opinion still?
Yeah, I still would.
Why?
Because we don't know him.
What if it's $500? Would you get a second opinion?
Still, yes.
Because you just know that they're probably just getting a little more than they should.
Yeah.
I got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
She says you didn't knock on the door.
Oh, I wouldn't carry all the material to our house and have all the material waiting outside.
Can I see the receipt for the material?
Yes, absolutely. This is not the exact receipt, but that is the materials, what they would cost in the store.
No, I don't want that. I want the ones that you actually expended on this job.
Yes, absolutely. 4 years ago, I don't have it.
All right. What do you think happened? Because she's saying that for 20 bucks in supplies, wait a minute, let me finish my question. For 20 bucks in supplies, somebody else came and she didn't need that $5,000 job you were talking about or $2,500 job you were talking about. For 20 bucks, somebody just fixed all the sockets, which shouldn't have cost 20 bucks. It obviously should cost a lot more than that.
It's a matter of communication. If I showed up to the house 3 times and no one is saying that I don't want this work done or stop, we would have stopped. I had no problem with that. So I gave an evaluation.
Well, according to you, when did she cancel you?
Good question. I think I was canceled out on the Friday at 5 o'clock when I called her back. Friday
in relation to what? It was a week after you got hired?
About a week.
Why would you feel entitled to the entire $2,500?
I know.
Well, then why haven't you paid her anything? Why didn't you turn around in the last 3.5 years or whatever and give her some money back?
I got no problem with returning it. I didn't do the work.
Really? Because usually I find that I end up in court listening to people's cases because somebody did have a problem paying back the money.
Well,
otherwise, when you got sued, you would have said to her, oh, thank God, I lost your number and your address. Here's your check. And that didn't happen. So I don't really believe that you were dying to give her back some money. Why were you on TV in the crime scene?
My nephew, which you would know, is an off-duty officer, Christopher Riley Rucker. He was murdered in White Plains.
I'm very sorry. Did you ever see the flyers that she put up?
She wouldn't have to do that. I would have gladly paid anybody who would accept them.
So your defense is you tried to pay back the money? What's your defense?
That even to this day, while we're here, I would gladly pay the money back.
Good.
What portion of it?
Fabulous.
We agreed on $1,000.
Okay, what? You agreed on what?
We agreed on $1,000 to pay back.
$1,000? The lawyer says it was $1,500.
Okay.
And here's what's going to happen. You need to understand, okay? I have to. What's your argument? Your argument is that he was defrauding you?
Yes. The superintendent came and he checked this out.
Who are the people who are with you?
Right here.
Moral support, and how about the gentleman?
He's the electrician.
Oh, come on up. Come on up. Who knew? Hi, what's your name?
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Porfirio Ortiz.
Okay, talk to me.
What I did was check the lights. That's when I noticed that 4 circuit breakers were burned due to the lack of use from The AC which she was using, her mother was using at the second floor, that was the problem. So I gave her
What
listing.
was the problem?
The problem was...
Too much on the circuitry?
Yeah, breakers, two breakers, two 15 amps breakers were burned, two 20 amps breakers were burned, and that's why they was not receiving.
So what do you have to do,
use.
replace those?
Yeah, remove them, replace the socket, and bring back her light on.
And did you charge her for your work?
No, I did not.
Why?
She might probably didn't know why. Because
I don't know why.
A couple of months before, her mother gave me a wheelchair for my mother, which is 100 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And I was so appreciative with that, and I didn't charge her for my service.
When did you do all this? Do you remember?
Like around the 20th of April.
4 days after the contract. And the contract says that the contract will begin on 4/20, which obviously he didn't come on 4/20 because he's there on 4/20. And you say he never came by and had missed appointments. He just hadn't even, you called him before.
I wouldn't have paid my money to a lawyer.
How much did you pay the lawyer?
Well, he gave me my money back.
I've also never heard of a lawyer giving money back. Go ahead. Ever. Okay.
He gave me my money back.
All right, here's what I think. I think it's difficult for me to say that you did not need upgraded circuitry to be able to run all your appliances when I just heard from your guy that a few days later he upgraded your circuitry. Mm-hmm. So I can't look at him and say you're a thief, okay? I can, however, look at him and say you acted like a thief afterwards when you know you got stopped and there's unearned money on your part, so you should have been returning money to her. Yeah. I don't think $1,000 enough. I don't think $1,500 is enough, and I'm going to order him to return, and he doesn't have a single receipt for any of these things he says he bought. So I am going to order him to be able to keep only his lost profits, because I can't look at you and say, well, you can enter into contracts, and then if you find somebody who loves you and is indebted to you and wants to do it for free, you can just rip up your contract. You can't rip up your contract any more than the rest of us can. So I am going to allow him to keep what I think he should have as lost profits, and taking into account that he didn't have to do anything so he can use those days to work elsewhere, I'm going to order him to return $2,000. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
So the verdict is in here, and the plaintiff has taken $2,000 in this judgment. What's your reaction to the outcome?
Well, that's fine. Relationship was not as it was from the beginning. When it's a welcome relationship in the beginning and then it's another relationship, you don't deal the same direction. Mm-hmm. I look for love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice.
And she's looking for money.
No, she's going to get it. She deserves it. I don't want to spend anything I didn't use. I've held on to her money all this time.
Okay, right down there. All right. So, all right, come on in here. $2,000 goes to you in this verdict. What's your reaction?
It was well worth it, waiting for those years. Mm-hmm. And as a relationship, I never had a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting how a person can do things like that to other people. So justice was done.
He tangled with the wrong woman. You tracked him down.
I sure did.
All right.
Good people out there.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, we always see these cases going to court, and a lot of times small claims court, but the fact is that electricians in most states are licensed by a state agency. What you can do if you're in a dispute like this is you call the licensing agency of the state, and a lot of them will mediate these disputes, and it's faster and cheaper than going to court. Just a note.